Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTubers. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon. Unbeknownst to me, well, they kind of told me, but anyway, Bill and Shirley took off on a family trip, and I'm here watching the cabin, taking care of my son's goats and dogs, and he left me his quad. So that's been a blessing. Nice to have around instead of walking or driving the van, and a lot of times it's too cold. So anyway, I've got some time. I wanted to do a additional video on the idea of bellows. Okay, now you can see in the background there, to that direction, is a 5-panel ceramic face propane heater. Well, and you can see the floor there, the hardwood floor. That's the reason for that heater being there. The wood stove was there. And because of the wood floor, I'm not going to put the wood stove back in this winter. So we've got firewood, although John and I have both been out a couple, 3 times. So anyway, you need to get a fire going. If you have coals, or you wake up in the morning, there's coals. I didn't go into a lot of detail last time I did that one on the, because I was basically showing that you can make a bellows out of a marshmallow hot dog roaster. Okay, so this is the one that I had gotten 5 of these for 20 bucks. They came with a little velvety case, Bull Durham, pull tight. What else? Crown Royal, type of a little velour bag. They also came with a clear plastic gift case, which was like totally worthless because it doesn't snap shut. It doesn't really do anything. It just holds it there. It looks pretty. This is more valuable than the stupid plastic case. But this is not even going to be able to see it, and it wouldn't make any difference. GEEDIAR Fire Bellow. GEEDIAR. Whatever. Doesn't make any difference. It's about 30 some inches. Okay. Whereas that hot dog roaster is 40 some inches. This is maybe 30 inches. There are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 5, about 30 inches. 5-inch sections. There's the span of my hand. So 6 of those sections. Now, this is much better made. Even with this end plugged, I can't blow air through it. The hot dog roaster, it's got some give to it, and I can feel, if I'm holding like this, I can feel air coming out through the joints, but it works, and I use it a lot, almost every day. Not almost every day, I use it every day, several times a day. I can use it to get the coals going, to clear. I can blow the ashes, which I showed in a video. I did 5 videos one day, and 3 of them blew up. I lost them. But when the fire's going, I can blow that fine ash, and it just blows up and out. So I'm doing 2 things. I'm helping the fire get cleaned up and getting ashes out of the stove. The other thing I use it for is to clean the top of the stove off. When I stack wood on top, there's little bits and pieces, and they're not going to light up, they're not going to start a fire, but I like peace of mind, and I don't want to be smelling burning wood, even though it's just a little thing getting burnt to a crisp. So, use it a lot. So, simple, very light, very, very effective. Now, one of my projects here I've been doing, I try to do things when they're gone. I got some salt. Whole bucket of sea salt here from the Sea of Cortez to sift out. One is a big huge chunk. It's dirty. The company I ordered from were just, I'm not going to speak evil of anyone. They did not put it in good enough bags, and I lost almost the entire order. Anyway, this is a custom made. This was made by friends of theirs, Bill and Shirley's. It's huge. I mean, this pipe weighs probably 6 times what that whole bellows weighs. And, it's a beautiful job. It's got 2 holes. I saw one that was a double bellows, and I think I showed that one. Yeah, because I was wondering, does it, if there was a flapper on the outside and there were 2 chambers or something, you could make it so it blows going in and coming out, but it only blows, you know, when you're squeezing it. Ouch. And you can hurt yourself by squeezing your thumb in there and it would hurt. So nice job. It's pretty, but for all practical purposes, you couldn't even open it. The rawhide was, I'm guessing, yeah, it looks like rawhide, was dry as a bone, and you couldn't even open it. So what I did was I took, I had it sitting here. I had an olive oil sprayer, you know, one of those square olive oil sprayers, and oh, there it is. So I took that, I dumped the olive oil out, and I put, I warmed up coconut oil, put it in there, and then I sprayed this down. So at least it looks prettier. I cleaned it up and it looks nicer for hanging on the wall, but I would think that thing should be able to come out to here. So whoever made it kind of wasted their time, because it does not, that's hardly any volume. Compared to the size of this, that should come out as deep as that thing is wide at least. You'd have a volume of air, but you only got like nothing in there. So it's pretty, and it's prettier now than it was before I cleaned it up. So such is life. It weighs a lot more than this thing. Now, like I said, the hot dog roaster, yeah, you can do both things with it. So get one. If you are one of those people, and I'm talking to remnant believers here, there are those of you out there listening to me right now who are going to be, or are being led, or have been led to come here to the Ozark Plateau. There's a lot of men, young families, single men, maybe single women, young families who are going to be called to, whatever you want to call it, search and rescue teams, watchmen on the wall, literally, because there's going to be some places where there is a wall, a plateau, there are bluffs, and some places are on the wrong side. That friend of mine, Greg, drove me down to see the Fallen Bluffs. He called them Fallen Bluffs. I'm like, what do you mean Fallen Bluffs, you know? And he said, well, here's a good, you know, he said, you know how bluffs are stratified, you know, you have a foot of this and a foot of something else and a foot of this. That's what a normal bluff looks like. Well, these are, they fell over, okay? So instead of that as the side of it, what you see is that. And sure enough, we drove down there and you could put your hand out the window of the passenger side, or depending on which direction you're going, and touch the rock. Flat, smooth facing. The bluff part, what we consider, you know, what looks like the stratified cliff face, is like this. It's level. It's facing up to the sky. Massive upheaval. And here's the point. It's right on the edge of the Craton. Highway 69 going from Oklahoma into Texas. He drove almost to Texas. He left his home at 4 o'clock in the morning, St. Elizabeth area, Missouri. I think it was a 3-hour drive to get to me. He drove several hours. He was one of those people who he could not let me drive because he would get sick, physically sick. And he was physically sick. He was having major intestinal distresses. Every once in a while we'd have to stop. He would stop and he'd run off in the woods and come back. But anyway, Bunny Trail. So, by the time we got back here to this cabin, that's where he ended up, because I was staying here. It was right. The day after, my wife walks in the room one time, Tuesday, and says, by the time I get back at 2 o'clock, I want you out of here. You know, filing for divorce. Total shock and surprise to me. The next day, Greg calls and takes me on this Ozark Plateau, Fallen Bluff, edge of the plateau, you know, mission. So, timing, you know, is just something. In fact, 1 or 2 days prior to my wife coming in, he said, I pray for people. And I said, well, pray for me. And he goes, well, I'm not sure you want me to pray for you, because whenever I pray for people, their lives change. And I said, I can deal with that. Pray for me. Boom. At 2 o'clock, I want you out of here. Oh. So, anyway, some of the enjoyable things that happen when you're just walking by faith and seek ye first the kingdom of Yahweh and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. And that's the gist of the message. I want to get to that. I want to get this couple of videos done, and then I'm going to take a shower, do some oxygen, and then I want to get to a message, because this is going to be my last chance to do anything serious for quite a while. I mean, I'm just struggling to get, you know, keep wood in and barely staying ahead of the game on that. So, yeah, the edge of the Craton. So he took me down to see that, and I'm telling you, there's actually an article online where it talks about that they have seen this in a vision or a dream or something, or are dreaming of it. I've seen him in the watchfires of 1,000 circling camps, and I have said that. I've basically rewritten that. I've seen him in the watchfires of 1,000 circling camps. Prophetic. So, and if you take the diameter of, let's see if I can pull it up real quick here. Okay, show you how this simple math. Bam, 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 bam. Oops, missed it. Richard Cameron. Oh, to be with Richie was the prophet's plaintive cry, as he sat in contemplation at the grave where did lie the Lion of the Covenant, Richard Cameron his name, who boldly rode into Sanquahar and boldly did proclaim. Okay, diameter of a circle. What's the circumference of a circle? Okay, we're going to take 120 miles as a radius, okay, 100 miles radius around Springfield. So 120 miles puts it in the river basin, which would be the borders. It's going to be the borders, okay, 120. We'll turn it around. I can't see it. Okay, there we go. Okay, 120. I'll just do times 120 equals 14,400 times 3.14. No, that's area. I'm sorry. Sorry. Bam, bam. Okay. 120 pi times diameter. Okay. 120 times 3.14159 da 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 da. 3.14 is close enough, but I like to be precise. Okay. 376. So basically 400 miles. Now rivers do this, right? Look at the border between Tennessee and Missouri. Look at the border between Missouri and Iowa. Look at the border between the Missouri and Illinois. The Mississippi, the Missouri River, Missouri between Kansas and Missouri and Iowa. So you look at it 400 miles. Well, it's going to be bigger than that, and it's further out. That's the other thing is. So anyway, let's say 1,000 circling camps. The point is, how many camps are there going to be? Let's say it is 400 miles. Every third of a mile, half mile, third of a mile, depending on the terrain and the height of the bluff or the height of the place. Point is, some of you people listening to me, I'm telling you right now, are going to be watchmen on the border. You're going to have to maintain or have a watch fire ready to light. When you know you get a radio message, you get a line of sight, Morse code, beep, 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 somebody out on the plains. They know that given a bearing of such and such and such, or 30 miles southwest of Hannibal, Missouri, there is a rescue operation set up, but they got to get to it. They got to get within sight of it. I could just start talking and write my book, The Delirium, the Imperium, and the Refugium. Not the, but Delirium, a time of drug-induced vaccine, chlorinated, fluoridated, dumbed down, drug time, and then Imperium, a time of control, a time of preparation, and then Refugium, to develop the Refugium, the land of Goshen. So, Morse code, radio, but what's the simplest, most, age-old method of signaling? A watch fire on a tower. Watch Lord of the Rings, the hill 30 miles away, another hill 30 miles away, 100 miles away. Those hills can be seen, and they're a way of sending a signal. So, yep. And I'll quote again from the book Devil's Gate, which is about the Mormon handcart company. One of the Mormon elders made a prophecy, and it just literally chills went down my spine when I read this. He said the day will come when people will be coming with their children in their arms, and it will be up to the saints to go out and bring them in. So, when millions of people, there were not millions of people in the United States at that time. There were, a few million, but not to the population base that could produce millions of refugees, millions with children in their arms. We do now. Roughly 10% of the population of the United States would give 10 million refugees, 50 million refugees, somewhere in there. People whine about, the population of the United States is 300 million. No, it's way over that. Way, way over that. The number of families who are, have a home birth with a midwife for their 10th or 12th child, and no birth certificates on any of them. Yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of good people in this country. What doest thou here, Elijah? Whining, complaining, sucking my thumb. Hey, that's weird. There was a flash. Wonder if it was heat from the infrared, from the stove. Anyway, what doest thou here, Elijah? What are you doing in a cave? Hiding, feeling sorry for myself. So, no, we need to get out and get some things done, and it has to be done by faith. So, that's my message. Is we've got to act. We've got to start acting. We've got to start doing. And if we don't, we'll just be left high and dry. We will not receive the divine help that we need if you continue to sit on your hands. You're going to end up scratching your own butt. Nothing's going to happen in your life. You've got to act. And I want to go into more detail on that later, so I need to get off of this one. All right. So, need to get a watch fire going? Have one of these. The bigger thing, heavy, whatever. Get something that works. I did get one, a rotary one. It looks humongously awesome. And I would like to rep it. I would like to sell them and be a representative for them here in America. All right, this is Jerry Diamond. You're the remnant if you're listening to me. And if you're not listening, if you want to make fun, find another bridge to troll under. So, I don't feed trolls. Good night. Bye-bye.